beds.
Yeah, Stacey, Lisa, right now there are 0 juvenile detention beds across 13 counties in northeastern Pennsylvania, including Lackawanna County. This means there's nowhere to house the area's most violent youth offenders. That includes a 17-year-old now identified by Scranton police as the shooter in this week's deadly brawl. A 17-year-old was pulled from this home along North Main Avenue in Scranton Tuesday night after a massive brawl turned deadly. Kenneth Tapia is now identified by Scranton police as the shooter and a gang member in this growing problem of teen gang violence across the city.
Everybody's at risk. My family, your family, anybody that's out on the streets during the day or at night. It's getting out of control.
After Tapia's arrest, testimony in court revealed he was on juvenile probation at the time of Tuesday's shooting.
We do know that it's a public safety issue, especially in light of what just happened in the shooting of Detective Kyle Martin. So it's something that we're taking very seriously, and we're working hard every single day to address it.
In January, a man barely out of his teens was arrested for shooting Scranton Police Detective Kyle Martin in the head. Days later, a teenager was stopped carrying a rifle and heading towards Scranton High School. Lackawanna County President Judge Trish Corbett says there's no accountability for these teens, and they know it.
We also need it as incentive to stay out of trouble, because the word got out and we heard it all over the place. Everybody, all the kids were talking. No problems, no worries. The only thing they can do is put us on the electronic monitor, and we don't have to follow that anyway.
Officials say the impact of gang-related violence is heightened because of the lack of detention beds. Right now, there are 0 detention beds across 13 counties in northeastern Pennsylvania, and nowhere to house the most violent youth offenders. Sometimes kids are getting placed hours and even states away, or they're getting sent back home and returning to school hallways.
The judges give them a slap on the wrist, and they have to send them, well, they maybe put the bracelet on or whatever, but they have to send them home. We have no place to send them.
Or in cases like Tapia's, a special hearing was needed to allow him to be placed in an adult facility. But that was only allowed because his charges were serious enough for him to be treated as an adult. Right now, Lackawanna County Prison has 8 juvenile inmates, and Judge Corbett says the kids are missing out on the rehabilitation they need.
The first step is detention, and you can't even ferret out what's a proper placement for them until you get them off the streets and detain them.
Now, there is a silver lining in all of this. Lackawanna County officials are hard at work trying to come up with a solution. Coming up at 6, you'll hear about the green light now coming from the state to help curb this detention bed problem in Lackawanna County and what it means for those of us who live here.
Melissa, thank you so much for that report. All of Melissa's in-depth reporting on the detention bed crisis can be found on our website. Just search Kids for Cash, the New Crisis on WNEP.com.